The day I got caught by my dad while on a date with a girl is one I'll always remember, and not in the way you might expect. It wasn't a disaster, not in the grand sense, but a story of unexpected moments, of tension turning into relief, of awkwardness that led to something deeper. It started off simple, the kind of evening you think is going to be just another ordinary date. I had been planning it for days, my heart racing with the excitement of spending time with her. We had talked about it all week, this new ice cream shop everyone was talking about. We'd agreed that this would be the perfect outing, a chance to enjoy each other's company, indulge in a little sweetness and share the joy of a simple treat. We arrived at the shop and, lucky for us, found a cozy little spot on the outdoor patio. The sun was warm on our faces, and there was a gentle breeze that made the air feel fresh, like the start of something new. We sat down and started talking, laughing, sharing stories and basking in the ease of each other's presence. I'd chosen vanilla with sprinkles, a classic, and she had gone for the chocolate fudge. We joked about which ice cream flavor best represented our personalities, each of us offering playful arguments about why our choice was the best. It was perfect. A moment frozen in time, where nothing else mattered except the person sitting across from me and the world we had built in that small corner of the ice cream shop. But as the conversation flowed and the sun started to dip lower in the sky, I noticed something. A figure walking toward us, someone I instantly recognized. My heart skipped a beat. It was my dad. Now let me tell you, getting caught by your parent while on a date isn't exactly the plotline most people dream of. My dad had no idea I was seeing anyone, and I knew the moment he laid eyes on us, things were about to get awkward. He wasn't a fan of me dating just anyone, and the fact that we had kept this relationship under wraps only added to the tension of the moment. I felt a rush of panic, my mind racing with what to do next. I leaned closer to her and whispered, "My dad is here. We have to act normal." She chuckled nervously, her smile never faltering, but I could tell she was just as nervous as I was. We both tried to carry on with the conversation, but there was an undeniable tension in the air now, a kind of tightness that came with knowing something was about to change. And then, there he was, my dad, standing before us, completely unaware of the situation. "Hey, son, enjoying some ice cream?" he asked, his voice casual, but his eyes scanning the scene before him. I felt the heat rise in my cheeks. There was no way I could act normal, not when I had just been caught in a situation I hadn't prepared for. Yeah, just hanging out," I replied, trying to keep my voice steady but failing miserably. She gave me a smile that was both supportive and nervous, and I could see that she was feeling just as exposed as I was. My dad looked at her, then back at me, a slow, curious look crossing his face. "So, who's your friend?" he asked, his tone suggesting he was trying to piece everything together. At that moment, I had two options. I could pretend nothing was happening and hope that he didn't press further, or I could be honest and face whatever consequences came with it. I took a deep breath and chose the second option. "This is a girl I'm dating," I said, trying to keep the words calm and steady. The silence that followed was heavy. I could see the wheels turning in my dad's mind, the mix of surprise and concern crossing his face. His protective instincts were kicking in. I could feel it. "Oh, really?" he said slowly. "I didn't know you were seeing someone seriously." I felt my nerves settle a bit. "Yeah, Dad. We've been hanging out for a while now," I said, gaining a bit of confidence. "She's amazing." I glanced at her, my eyes softening as I saw her smile back at me. My dad nodded, his expression a mixture of thoughtfulness and caution. "Just be careful, okay?" he said, his voice softening as he placed a hand on my shoulder. "I want you to be happy, but I also want you to make smart choices." It was a moment of reassurance, a sign that despite everything he cared. It wasn't the confrontation I had feared. Instead, it was a quiet moment of understanding, of parental guidance wrapped in love. After a brief pause, my dad waved goodbye and walked away, leaving me and her sitting there, both of us feeling the weight of the moment. I let out a breath I didn't even realize I'd been holding. "Well, that was intense," I laughed, the nervous energy fading as the tension lifted. She giggled in return, and I could feel the distance between us closing, the awkwardness starting to melt away. We finished our ice cream, sharing thoughts about the day and the strange turn of events. In hindsight, I realized that getting caught by my dad hadn't been the disaster I'd imagined. It was a moment that, in some strange way, brought us closer together. After my dad left the ice cream shop, I felt like the air had cleared. The moment of tension had passed, and in its place, there was a feeling of connection, something deeper than before. We continued to talk, laughing and sharing more stories. What had started as an uncomfortable situation now felt like a turning point in our relationship. As the evening wore on, we decided to take a walk through the nearby park. The sun was beginning to set, casting a soft glow over everything. The world around us seemed to fade, and all I could focus on was her. We walked side by side, our hands brushing now and then, sending a little thrill through me each time. We came upon a small pond, ducks swimming lazily in the water. It was peaceful there, and she suggested we sit on a nearby bench to take in the view. I sat down beside her, feeling a sense of calm wash over me. As I looked at her in the fading light, I couldn't help but feel how lucky I was to be there with her, sharing this moment. "I'm really happy we did this," I said, turning to her. "I feel like I can be myself with you." She smiled, leaning in just a little. "I feel the same way," she replied. "Being with someone who is sincere is refreshing." That's when I realized that this date had become something more than I had expected. It wasn't just about sharing a good time, indulging in ice cream, or laughing at silly jokes. It was about connecting with someone who genuinely understood me, who saw me for who I really was. And in that moment, I knew I wanted to take it further. I reached for her hand, my heart pounding in my chest. "I know things got a little crazy earlier with my dad," I said, my voice soft but sure. "But I want you to know that I really like you." Her eyes met mine, steady and sincere. "I like you too," she said, a smile playing on her lips. "We've got something really special here." I didn't need any more words. I leaned in, closing the distance between us, and gave her a gentle kiss. It was tender, sweet, and felt like the perfect way to end an unforgettable day. The evening continued with laughter, with dreams shared and hopes for the future. We left the park hand in hand, both of us smiling, knowing this was only the beginning. As I drove home that night, I couldn't help but smile. Despite the awkwardness, despite the moment of fear when my dad had appeared, it had all turned out just fine. Sometimes life doesn't go as planned, but in those unexpected moments, we find what truly matters. And for me, that was her. Someone who had made everything feel right, even when things seemed a little bit off. It was a reminder that in love, the surprises are what make it real. The moments we didn't see coming are often the ones that matter most. And for me, getting caught by my dad was just a small blip in the journey of something much bigger, something that felt worth it. It was a moment, simple, and yet, nothing short of extraordinary. The day had begun like any other, but as the hours passed, the realization of how much it mattered began to settle into the quiet corners of my heart. I had no idea that an innocent outing, one that seemed like nothing more than a casual trip to an ice cream shop, would become a memory etched in time. A memory of love, awkwardness, vulnerability, and the realization that sometimes, the most meaningful moments come when we least expect them. We had picked a spot outside the ice cream shop where the sun bathed everything in a golden hue, the world buzzing around us while we lost ourselves in the simple joy of shared laughter and stories. She with her chocolate fudge and I with my vanilla sprinkles. The choice of ice cream was just the surface of it all. The deeper layers lay in the way we looked at each other, the way our words flowed effortlessly, and the way we shared a connection that felt rare and precious. But as the minutes passed, an unfamiliar feeling began to rise in my chest. Something shifted in the air. It was a slight shift, barely noticeable at first, but enough to make my pulse quicken. The world, for a brief second, seemed to slow down, and then, there he was. My father, walking towards us with the ease of someone who had no idea that his son's world was about to turn upside down. I glanced at her, my heart sinking, my thoughts racing. How could I explain this? How could I explain the simple truth of what was happening, when the truth felt like something much bigger than either of us could handle in that moment? With a whisper barely audible, I leaned closer to her and said, "My dad is here. We have to act normal." She looked at me, eyes wide, a nervous laugh escaping her lips as she nodded. We both tried to carry on with our conversation, but there was a tension that neither of us could ignore. It hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. My dad, unsuspecting and with no clue as to what was unfolding before him, smiled as he approached.